What's up guys, Jay Hoyt here. Before we get into today's video, we gotta make you guys aware. Over 80% of you guys that watch my videos are not even subscribed. So make sure to go down below, check, are you subscribed? Is it your first time here? Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and enjoy the video. What's going on guys, Jay Hoyt back with you. Today, welcome back to Modern Warfare 2. That's Call of Duty, of course. I don't know why I said it backwards, but it's fine. We'll keep going. Modern Warfare 2 ranked play. We're back here on, I think it's Fortress. I don't even remember the names of these maps anymore. But we're playing Hardpoint. We actually have a pretty good game for you. And today, right, as I normally do, scrolling through Reddit, trying to find, video ideas or trying to find interesting things I could talk about, or, just kind of like a gauge of what kind of content is out there. And I saw this post, and I actually saw this one on, it was a Reddit, but then it linked to a Twitter. So, or should I say X? I'm still going to call it Twitter. Everyone still calls it Twitter. Can I just say that real quick? Everyone calls it Twitter. So we saw this from, I don't know who this is, but from Ralph's Valve, and he said Treyarch's has since suffered a heavy loss of the original developers and creative staff due to burnout and several separate issues. The team seems to be going through an identity crisis internally. These aren't exactly experiencing developmental hell rather than role confusion. And apparently, if you look at the title, so this is actually on Reddit, due to the top headline there. Treyarch losing a lot of their original staff due to burnout was rumored a while back, and now with guys like Tony Flame and David Vonderhaar leaving, I'm worried about Treyarch's next COD. And 100%, right? And I feel like that's the whole theme of this video, right? Is to kind of talk about this, because when you're in something like a game development field, or if you're in a job or in anything for a long time, or you play something, you play games for a long time, sometimes this happens where you get burnt out of it and you need to kind of hit the reset button, hence the title of the video. You need to hit the reset button in order to kind of get back on track, get back in the motivational, kind of pull towards what you're working on. And I feel like this has happened with Call of Duty. And the reason I say that is we started in, 2004 or something like that with Call of Duty, or whenever it came out. I probably should know that, but whenever a Call of Duty first came out, and you kept going all these years through new ideas and new kind of, good games, but obviously could be improved on a little bit, but trying new things, trying to add new things. And I feel like in the last, even since, trying to think, Black Ops 4, I guess I would probably say was the last decent Call of Duty game where the maps weren't terrible, but they were not great either. But then kind of since then, or actually I could just look at them. So we had Vanguard, Cold War. Actually, I don't have Modern Warfare 2 up there because I bought that digitally. But the original Modern Warfare, and then we go back to Black Ops 4. So I would even say since Black Ops 4, I mean, if you obviously add in World War II into that, I know that's not necessarily in order. But those kind of games have all been not the greatest of games. And a lot of people have been complaining big time about, the state of Call of Duty or the games and everything else. And even in some other games, I've seen some clips saying, we've had the same thing 4 years in a row of, I don't remember what they were talking about, or I'm not really familiar with what they were talking about. But they said for the last 4, I think it was NBA. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm not a big NBA guy. I don't really follow the NBA or play NBA. I used to, kind of had the favorite, similar with the Yankees. It was just the Lakers was my team, even though didn't really care. But of course, Kobe Bryant, that was the most, staple team in the league. But I think it was a My Player or something that they had the same, I don't remember what it was, but the same thing 4 years in a row. And as soon as whoever it was saw it, they were what the heck? This is supposed to be the thing that gets the most updates, and then you've had the same thing 4 years in a row, and they got really kind of mad about it. And I feel like this is kind of going on in Call of Duty, where We went from, you know, all original somewhat ideas as far as a game concept with Black Ops, Black Ops 2, you had Ghost, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, I might not be saying these in order, but Black Ops 3, World War 2, Black Ops 4, and then we started to get into the reset stage, I guess I'll call it, and they came out with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, this is what does not make sense to me, is originally they had Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And then they kind of went to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And they kind of just like advanced on it. Well, now that's what they did again, is now it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is the next one. And it's like a what the heck? Like, why are we going back to old kind of names? Right? So we're going back to these old maps, which some people find, like Modern Warfare 2 is arguably, in a lot of people's eyes, like one of the better, like one of the best, better games of all time. Personally, didn't play it, don't really have much of an opinion on it, but they say that it's one of the best games of all time, yet we go back to the old times to try to, I don't know if they're trying to like say, hey, this was like peak Call of Duty back then, or what people seem to love the most, so let's just go remake one of those games, not remaster it really, but go remake those games and we'll see what kind of happens from there. Whereas I'd almost rather have new ideas, but like specifically have the best parts of Call of Duty in those games, right? All it's gonna take is one game, maybe 2 or 3 games in a row over the span of like a couple years, right? You create a good game, you allow that to have, you know, to be the main game for 2 years, let's just say. So then you set a standard for everyone else creating a Call of Duty game that comes out every 2 years. You do all the right things, right? You make a good Call of Duty game that can last 2 years. You create new maps. You release new maps in a timely fashion, because when you come out with these new seasons, right, this isn't Fortnite where it's just ever going, right? It's not, it's just keep going. With a game that comes out every year or every 2 years, or what we tried to do but failed miserably because the game wasn't that great, you have to create those new maps consistently, right? I get the point of the seasons, right? But at the same time, you can't do that in a game like Call of Duty or in a game that comes out every year. The main reason for that to be is, let's just say if you almost exclusively play Call of Duty, right? That's your kind of main game. Sometimes switch off of it, go to Fortnite, go to, you know, a sports game or whatever, but you mainly play Call of Duty, and you play that game for 12 months. At that point, when do you stop being as excited in it and stop playing it so much? Probably about the, what, 7-8 month mark? Because that's what kind of happened this, I'll say, off season, is as soon as the CDL ended, then, you know, Fortnite was kicking back up with some new updates, some new gameplay. NHL releases next month. You have the new Call of Duty coming out in 2 months, I think it is. So we have these new games to look forward to that people are going to be like, okay, let's take a break, play something different since a new one's coming out. Or you have the betas or the alphas or the betas that come out that you want to test out and try, that I would love to see. I haven't really looked too much into them yet, but you know, you want to see those new things. But at the same time, when you see this type of thing where staff are leaving or, you know, taking a step back or kind of resetting themselves and not working on these games anymore, it's because of that, where we have the same games over and over and over again, where someone's like, hey, let's try these new things, and they're like, no, we got to stick with what works, or we have this agenda that we need to like focus on for this next game, we have these new things we created, and I say this every single time we talk about what Call of Duty needs, or, you know, what could they improve on, or, you know, whatever we may talk about. Here's it, right? Make a good Call of Duty game, an original Call of Duty game don't try to focus just on getting people's nostalgia back or, you know, the peak Call of Duty back. Learn what makes those games good, what people love, and then go from there, right? It does not take a lot to figure out what makes a good Call of Duty game. I've said that so many times. You figure out what they want. You go into the creation process being like, okay, people absolutely loved Black Ops 2, right? The simplicity of it, the league play, ranked play, whatever it was called back then. You see the map type, how maps are made, the 3-lane, pretty simple maps, and go from there, right? You create those good games, those good simple maps that play well, but still have a different take on some of the maps, right? Don't just make it plain Jane, you know, 3-lane, super straight. Like, I get it, right? Have some creativity, but at the same time, play your map, right? Before it comes out, before you release it, have people beta test it or play it and see, hey, like internally even, does this map play well? If it doesn't, or if some things need to be changed, change it before it comes out, right? I mean, there's enough players around, enough former pro players around that would be more than happy to test your maps on Hardpoint, on Search and Destroy, on Control, on whatever game mode you want, to play the maps, to play the game early, whatever it may be. There's enough people out there that will do it. You might have to pay them or even, you know, give them the game free or something to make it worth it for them to actually want to do it. But at the same time, I feel like by now, even with staff burnout or whatever, somebody, and I don't know who it needs to be, maybe if they want to hire me, I'll be more than happy to do it, but make a checklist of everything that makes a good Call of Duty good, and the things that work, the things that don't work, the things that people complain about. Go from there, create a good Call of Duty game, have it on a 2-year cycle, so that way you can still have updates, you can still have more maps, you can still have all your stuff in the game, your seasons, your whatever, and then go from there, right? Maybe once, you know, things get back on track with the developers, get back into the point where we're making a good Call of Duty and we're not trying to get back to the nostalgia, get back to the original Call of Duties, and actually create a new, original, fresh idea, but still keeping what makes Call of Duty great in mind. But with all that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below if you haven't yet, or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe, turn post notifications on so you never miss an upload, and don't forget, you can always change your mind later. With all that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next one.